In the small, tight-knit town of Sweetwater Hollow, there lived a woman named Annie. She had grown up in Sweetwater, surrounded by golden fields and the kind of neighbors who knew every detail about each other's lives. Annie was known for her warm smile, helpful nature, and generous heart. She had many friends in town, but there was one person who stood out above the rest: John. John had been in Annie's life for as long as she could remember. They had gone to school together, worked on community projects side by side, and spent long evenings talking about their dreams under the stars. Annie always had a soft spot for John, and as the years went by, her feelings for him deepened. But despite all their time together, John never made his intentions clear. He was kind, attentive, and always seemed happy to be around her, but he never said the words Annie longed to hear. Annie's friends noticed her growing affection for John and often asked, "Do you think he feels the same way?" To this, Annie would always respond with a hopeful smile. "I think so. He's always there when I need him, and we have such a great connection." But deep down, beneath her hopeful words, Annie wasn't so sure. There were moments, fleeting, quiet moments, when John seemed distant, distracted. He would disappear for days without saying a word, or make plans that didn't include her. And while he was always warm when they were together, he never crossed that invisible line between friendship and something more. One summer evening, as the sun dipped low and painted the fields in hues of gold and pink, Annie found herself sitting alone by the old oak tree near her family's barn. She had just spent another evening with John, laughing and talking, but the familiar ache in her heart lingered. Why, after all these years, had he never said anything more? Why hadn't he made his feelings known? As she sat there, her friend Clara walked by and noticed the look of confusion on Annie's face. Clara had known Annie for years and could tell something was weighing heavily on her. Clara asked, sitting down beside her. Annie sighed. "It's John. I just don't know where we stand. Some days it feels like we're on the verge of something real, something special. Other days it's like he's miles away." Clara looked at her thoughtfully. Clara said, "Annie, you know deep down exactly where you stand with him. You've always known. Hope has a way of blurring the lines, making us see things the way we want to see them. But if you're really honest with yourself, you already know the truth." Annie stared at the horizon, Clara's words sinking in. She thought back to all the moments she had brushed aside. The times John had been distant, the way he never fully committed to spending time with her, the way he always kept her at arm's length. As much as she had hoped for more, the truth had always been there, waiting for her to acknowledge it. Clara continued, "Sometimes we get so wrapped up in hoping for what we want that we ignore what's right in front of us. It's hard to admit, but once you face the truth, it's easier to move forward, whether that's with him or without him." Annie nodded slowly. She realized Clara was right. As much as she wanted to believe that John would one day feel the same way she did, the signs had always been there. She had known, deep down, that John's heart wasn't in the same place as hers. Hope had kept her hanging on, but now it was time to face the reality. The next time Annie saw John, she didn't wait for him to make the first move. She asked him directly where they stood, and though his answer wasn't the one she had hoped for, it gave her the clarity she needed. John cared for her deeply, but he didn't see their relationship in the same way she did. It wasn't easy to hear, but it was the truth. With a heavy but free heart, Annie thanked John for his honesty and began the process of moving forward. It hurt, but in time, she felt a weight lift from her shoulders. She had been holding on to hope for so long that she had forgotten how to let go. Now she could start living for herself again, knowing exactly where she stood. The moral of this story is, deep down, you always know where you stand with someone. Hope can blur the lines, making you see what you want to see rather than what is actually there. But if you take a step back and really listen to your heart, you'll find that the truth has been there all along. It's easy to cling to hope, especially when we want something so badly, but true peace comes from facing reality, no matter how hard it may be. Trust your instincts, because they often tell you more than your hopes ever will. And remember, acknowledging the truth is the first step toward healing and finding the path that's truly meant for you. In conclusion, Brokenwood Mystic Farms symbolizes the enduring connection between humanity and the land, a tribute to the beauty of nature and the importance of honoring traditions in a changing world. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You won't want to miss our short story adventures. If you have any questions, requests, or just want to say hello, feel free to contact us at info@brokenwoodmysticfarms.com. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and have a fantastic day, my friends.